Cubs continue to celebrate Wrigley Field's 100th birthday, and the Cubs' first opponent in 1916 here at Wrigley Field, the Cincinnati Reds, provide the opposition tonight as WGN Sports on the U brings you the Reds and the Cubs in Game 1. Great to have you with us, along with the birthday boy, Jim Deshaies. I'm Len Casper. Happy birthday, partner. And the Reds are here. They're at 500. They have not been above 500 all year. We're used to Votto, Phillips, Bruce being the big guys, but there's some other names in that lineup, too.
Those are the usual suspects. We're going to take a look at the unusual suspects. Great movie, by the way, Usual Suspects, one of my favorite. But these guys really stepping to the front this year. Todd Frazier, third in the National League with 17 home runs, leads all third basemen. Billy Hamilton figuring it out. The speed, of course, a big part of it, but he's got a 10-game hitting streak. And Devin Mesoraco, his home run to at-bat ratio, the best in the National League. His OPS closing in on 1,000.
And a great pitching matchup tonight. These guys might end up being all-star teammates.
Yeah, interesting when you look at the numbers on these two guys. We know the Jeff Samardzija story's pitched so well all year long, but run support has been a big issue. So despite that 2.60 ERA, he's just 2-6. Run support not a big issue for Alfredo Simon, but what a breakout year he's having at 33 years of age. A career best, 10 wins. That's tied for the league lead with Adam Wainwright.
It's been a struggle for the Cubs against these Reds as their ace will take on a Cincinnati ball club that has beaten the Cubs 17 of the last 19 times they've matched up here. Reds and Cubs are next. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Ford, manufacturers of America's best-selling brand. Check out our best-selling lineup at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting, provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader.
Cubs baseball in high definition on the U, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Mid-70s for the temperature. Not much of a breeze at the moment. Very pleasant. Yeah, it makes Tom Skilling proud. We don't mind that it's not blazing hot here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really nice. The umpiring crew. Dale Scott, the crew chief, is to wear the mask tonight. Dan Iassogna's at first. C.B. Buckner at second. Hal Gibson at third. Now the Reds lineup, they've been scoring runs, especially since Joey Votto returned from the disabled list. Billy Hamilton got off to a slow start. He's been pretty good since the middle of April. Todd Frazier should be in the All-Star game. There's Votto batting third. Devin Mesoraco cleaning up. Jay Bruce is in right. Ryan Ludwig in left. Skip Schumacher in for Brandon Phillips. He's day-to-day with a heel bruise. Zach Cozart, the shortstop, and Simon, the pitcher, bats ninth.
And the Cubs in the field look like this evening. Coghlan, Ruggiano, Sweeney, left, center, right. Around the horn we go. Valbuena, Castro, Barney, Rizzo, Wellington, Castillo gets to start behind the plate, and on the bump, Jeff Samardzija. Talk about that 2-6 record despite the 2.60 ERA. That 2.60 ERA good for ninth best in the National League. 15 starts, 97 innings. He's kept the ball in the ballpark. Just 5 home runs allowed. 90 punch-outs, 29 walks. And you look at his other numbers. His whip, very good. OPS against, outstanding. He's been more of a ground ball pitcher this year than in the past. Strikeout rate above league average and walk rate better than league average as well. He's pitched twice against the Reds this year. Pitched well, but he's 0-2 with a 2.84 against them for his career. 1-5 with a 4.25 ERA as a starter. 9 starts against this Cincinnati ball club.
Just feels right to say the Cincinnati ball club.
The Cincinnati ball club. That's the way the old-time scouts would say it.
So switch hitting Billy Hamilton, trailing only Dee Gordon among all major league players in stolen bases. He's got 31. He's got a hit and a steal in all 5 games against the Cubs this year, and he takes a fastball out of the zone for ball 1.
Switch hitter's been, excuse me, been much better from this side of the plate. He's got a 10-game hitting streak during which he's hitting .383.
That is a strike. Officially the wind out of the east at 4 as we get started. It's blowing in. Not doing a whole lot right now.
Yeah, left-handed Billy, pretty solid stuff. Right-handed Billy should probably be hitting in the 8-hole.
Makes you wonder if he should just bat left-handed all the
Yeah,
time. Oh, it's early. It's early.
Give it a go and see how it works out. Overall, 309 on base percentage. You'd like a little bit more than that out of your leadoff guy, but boy, what a weapon when he does get on.
Off the plate in. Good velocity here in the first inning. Jeff Samardzija hitting 96 that time.
Yeah, you know, every start it seems like he's, you know, mid-90s right out of the gate. Some guys it takes a while to get going. That does not happen with Samardzija, and he's able to maintain it throughout. You would think, you know, every now and then he'd have a start where his arm was just a little fatigued, didn't have the jump on the fastball, but that has not been the case.
Two and two on him. Todd Frazier on deck. Samardzija wants the fastball in. He's out over the plate, and a roller that just snuck under the glove of Darwin Barney, and Hamilton is going to make second. How about that? Oh my goodness, in a flash he went from home to second.
Yeah, he's a game changer out there. Everybody has to always be on the alert for Billy Hamilton and his speed and his ability to take an extra base. He speeds up the game, so you have to, you know, do things a little bit more quickly. I don't know that there's anything Ryan Sweeney could do on this ball. Barney gets a little piece of it, slows it down, and that allows Hamilton to get to second base rather easily.
He's now 5 for 8 against Samardzija, and as JD mentioned, came in with a 10-game hitting streak, now at 11. And he might try to steal third too, as Frazier takes ball 1. Remember, Joey Votto had moved up to the 2 spot earlier this year. 23 games, had a .430 on base percentage, but all of a sudden Todd Frazier having the year of his life, so he bats ahead of Votto in their lineup, with the first baseman batting third where he usually is. And that's going to give the Reds a very early 1-0 lead. Hamilton trots home. Frazier around second, loses his helmet on his way to third. Throw there way off line. A double and a triple to start the ball game for the visitors.
A little bit of an unconventional double by Hamilton here. Frazier whacks one into the alley in right center, and this is what he's been doing. This off-field approach is something that Frazier's really been able to exploit this year. Fastball out over the plate a little bit. He's moving around the bases pretty well too. You don't think speed when you think of Frazier. Reds here with a great chance to put a crooked number on the board in the top of the first.
Field in against Votto, who really crowds the plate. That pitch was not really inside. It was high. Votto ducking out of the way. His head's right almost over the plate.
His elbow's on, sitting on the inside corner. That pitch is on the plate.
And the 1-0 is a pitcher's strike.
Well, I think with the rise of Mesoraco and Frazier swinging as well as he has is giving Brian Price some flexibility, and now he's got his lineup set where he can go right left through the middle with Frazier, Votto, Mesoraco, and Bruce.
Hit hard, but right at Barney. So Frazier's going to have to hold at third. That's the first out.
That was pretty good. Frazier and Barney having a little bit of a stare down there. take it out. Sharply hit. So Barney knows he's got a lot of time. And Frazier not retreating to the bag. He's going to try to hold his ground as long as possible.
Mesoraco has 12 home runs, already a career high in only 41 games. Infield still in. Big swing and a miss. He's had 2 stints on the DL to boot.
Yeah, because of that, he doesn't have enough at bats to qualify among the league leaders. But obviously, with the numbers he's put up, he would. His rate stats are off the charts. The big OPS we showed in the Open. He's hitting a home run every 12 at bats. That's the best in the National League.
Dealt Ryan Hannigan to Tampa Bay. That opened up more playing time for Mesoraco this season. Yeah, that's
I haven't seen that since Johnny Bench was catching in Cincinnati.
Reds have won 8 of 11. And he went. And it's 1-2. He's got a 3-game home run streak coming into action tonight.
To me, like he's crouching. He's getting a little bit lower in his stance.
Boy, Samardzija really wanted this one, and it sure looked like a strike.
Sure.
Inside the box, not even on the line. It's Dale Scott. And he hit him on a 2-2. One of their athletic trainers will come out and check on Mesoraco. He just kind of waves him away.
95-mile-an-hour fastball running in, catches him on the forearm on his right arm, I believe. Yeah, maybe wrist. Oof. Wow.
Rizzo the bruise. Here's Jay Bruce, first and third. So the double play tandem can back up a few steps. Shot to turn 2 here if he can get a ground ball. Swing and a miss.
Split finger pitch. Jeff's been using that more frequently in recent starts. Early in the year, didn't have the feel for that pitch, but lately he's gotten good results with it. He trusts it a little bit more. And boy, it's such a good weapon for him against left-handed hitters. You got a guy like Bruce with power. Up there looking fastball early, and it's a really nice splitter.
I caught the inside. 0-2.
Little cut fastball here. Done with an off-speed pitch to get started on the edge, and then catches the inside corner at 94.
There was some DL time in May for Bruce. He had a partially torn meniscus in his left knee. Had surgery, missed 14 games. Basically missed the minimum. That's how quickly you can make that turnaround, or at least
just do a little
quick healer.
A little cleanup and back on the field. That's pretty impressive. Strikeout would be very nice here for Samardzija.
Blocked by Welly. First start off the DL for Castillo, activated yesterday, caught the 9th inning after pinch hitting late.
Get him to chase that splitter in the dirt. Bruce would have none of it.
Reds fan in the bleachers tonight. Samardzija's 1-2. Another dirt ball, 2-2. Now the Reds have simply dominated the Cubs here the last few years. I mentioned it off the top. 17-2 in this park since late 2012. If you go back to 2010, the Cubs are 20-50 against Cincinnati since May 8th of that year. And Bruce strikes out. That's a big one for Samardzija, as you mentioned. And 2 down in the inning. A chance here to get out of it with only 1 run allowed.
What a job it would be. Just great execution, sticking with the game plan. Bruce showing patience with those first couple of balls down in the dirt, but I think he convinced himself as he got deeper in the count that he was going to get a fastball, and he starts to cheat. He gets started early and fooled by the good action on the split finger pitch. Just talk about pounding the zone. Well, there was an instance of Samardzija pounding the dirt and finally getting Bruce to chase. Yeah, they have not been good company here, have they? They've been rather obnoxious. They come in, they sit in your favorite chair, they take control of the clicker, go through your refrigerator, eat all your leftovers.
Veteran Ryan Ludwig, ground ball to short. Castro will toss it to Barney, and the inning is over. They get 1, could have had more. Cubs coming up. By Mazda, and the 2014 Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity, continuing to rotate guys in the outfield. Coughlin in left, Ruggiano in center to start it. Rizzo, Castro, Valbuena, 3-4-5. Good to see Castillo back in that lineup. Ryan Sweeney's going to play right and bat 7th. Barney 8th, and Samardzija 9th.
How about the Reds in the field? Boy, they've been really good this year. They've only committed 30 errors. That's the fewest in the National League. And tonight they have Ludwig, Hamilton, and Bruce in the outfield. Hamilton with great range, Bruce with a cannon for an arm. Frazier, Cozart, Schumacher, and Votto on the infield, and Devin Mesoraco behind the plate for Alfredo Simon, a 33-year-old right-hander having one heck of a year. 10-3 with a 3.05 ERA through 14 starts. Whip is good for 8th best in the National League. He's not a strikeout pitcher. Throws a lot of sinkers, gets a lot of ground balls.
There's one of those 2-seamers for a strike.
His game is very similar to Willie Peralta over there in Milwaukee. A guy with power arm that throws hard, but is not a strikeout pitcher.
It's a curve for a strike, 0-2.
Mostly 2-seam fastballs, occasional cutter. He'll throw a curveball and a split finger pitch.
There's the splitter. Whoa. We've seen 3 of his pitches already, and they've all been strikes.
2 men and a baby enjoying the ball game.
No shoes required tonight.
That baby's living large right there.
Strike on Justin Ruggiano, trying to snap an 0-for-13. Simon has won all 4 of his starts here in the month of June. 4-0, and a roller to Zach Cozart. Dug out on the backhand by Votto.
It's Alfredo Simon stand in the National League in terms of W's. Well, how about Major League Baseball? Just behind Tanaka. And then he and Wainwright tied for the National League lead. Mark Burley also with 10 W's.
Yeah, he basically in spring training was slated to be their 5th starter, with Matt Latos recovering from elbow and knee surgeries. And then Latos came back, and Simon's not pitching like a 5th starter. So he remained in the rotation. Tony Cingrani was put in the bullpen and eventually demoted to the minors. The 0-1, swing and a miss by Anthony Rizzo.
Reds team ERA 3.68. Right at league average. Their starters have the 5th best ERA. Johnny Cueto leading the way.
That ball hit hard, but it'll be caught by Billy Hamilton and found a couple of fans in the bleachers. Don't throw it back, sir. 1-0 Reds.
Uh-oh.
Underway here in the second. Skip Schumacher playing second base tonight. Brandon Phillips injured himself in the ball game yesterday against the Blue Jays on a backswing. Suffered a bruised right heel. Schumacher started the year on the DL. Dislocated left shoulder suffered in spring training. Came back in early May. Former longtime Cardinal. Dodger last year, now with the Reds. 2-year contract. Generally a singles hitter. He hits the ball on the ground a lot. 283 lifetime batting average. And Samardzij's pitch is fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, not a real dangerous hitter. Doesn't hit for a lot of power, but he's always been a tough out. High average hitter who doesn't strike out much.
Versatile defensively, plays second, plays all three spots in the outfield. There's a ground ball. Rizzo to Samardzij for about the 873rd time this year.
Yeah, there you go. They might lead the league in 3-1 plays. That tandem there.
You can send us your Cubs
Let me take a selfie.
selfies at hashtag WGN Cubs. That's on Twitter. If you're unfamiliar with the process, they've already started to pour in. That man's for the Cubs, or at least his shirt is. Outside on the shortstop, Zach Cozart. Mentioned their defense. Certainly Cozart is solid at short. Could argue they're one of the top 2 or 3 best defensive clubs in all of baseball. Not only the fielding percentage, but some of the other quantitative numbers. Their defensive efficiency team number is in the top 3. Run prevention, it's pitching and defense.
Yeah, well,
all ties together.
Yeah, and now that they're swinging the bats much better. They've scored 57 runs in their last 6 ball games. Scored a ton of runs over the weekend in Toronto. So they're kind of poised to make a run, this club.
Shuffled to the right. Castro makes the play. 2 down.
And meanwhile in St. Louis, they put Michael Wacha and Jaime Garcia on the disabled list. So maybe putting a move on St. Louis here in fairly short order. They trail the Cardinals by 3 games. They're 8.5 games behind the first place Brewers.
So the pitcher Simon, 4 out of 40 in his career. It's a 100 batting average, but having a terrific offensive season. 103. It's better than 100.
He's trending up. Well, he's been mostly a reliever in his career. Was it 2011, I guess, the last time he got a significant number of starts with Baltimore? And that didn't work out so well.
The ERA was near 5 that season. Really good in 63 relief appearances last year. 36 the year before that with the Reds. Really has been a nice shot in the arm for the Cincinnati Reds. inside for a ball. Samardzija right off the bat gave up a double to Hamilton, a triple to Frazier. But then he was able to get out of that inning with no further damage.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. The third base man on third, nobody out, and he's able to strand that base runner. Talk about limiting damage. Just great execution by Samardzija and all those at bats. The way he pitched Bruce. Even the ball that hit Mesoraco. I mean, it was a good pitch. Didn't want to make a mistake over the play. End up whacking the guy, but that didn't really hurt him. It set up a possible double play. Well, here you guys just kind of play a little catch with Welly. Like picking the 5-pin. Missed the 5-pin.
2-out walk to the pitcher.
I think that means you have to buy the next round when you miss the 5-pin.
He's got to face Hamilton here. Although if he hits a gapper, he might pass Simon before the pitcher gets to second base.
He'll have his hand on his back like he's a pulling guard.
Might be a good strategy for Jeff. Give up a gapper here and just watch Hamilton have to honk his horn at Simon. No tailgating, sir.
Little dude at the ready out there with his glove.
Rizzo plays behind the runner, and the 0-2 to Hamilton's way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hamilton hitting .302 since the 15th of April. And a swing and a miss. So Samardzija walking the pitcher, but then he strikes out Hamilton to end it. 1-0. Last 3.
Here's a high drive deep into left field. Trayvon Robinson back, but it's gone off the principal backlit sign. Chris Bryant, get out of my yard.
Fastball hit high and deep into right center field. Peterson going back, looking up. Bye-bye, bye-bye baseball. The Cubs are ahead in a Chris Bryant home run at 6-5. Rocks and throws. Pitch down the middle, hit high and deep into center field. Peterson going back, no room for Peterson. Bye-bye, bye-bye baseball. Socked out of here by Chris Bryant, and the Cubs are ahead 4-3.
26 home runs combined. 4 hits at AAA. They've all left the yard. And Iowa, a winner today over Albuquerque, 4-3.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Here's the 0-1 to Castro. 1 ball, 1 strike on Starlin. We're in the second. 1-0 Reds. Scott Z with an interesting tweet. You never want to walk the pitcher, but would you rather have Hamilton lead off the third or face him with Simon clogging up the bases? Good question, Scott. I would say it's never a good idea to walk the pitcher. Or generally not. I suppose there might be some weird case. But I'm going to say I'd rather face Hamilton leading off. But good thought. Frazier will scoop it up.
Cub fans, if you want to manage the game along with Rick Renteria, log on to WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you watch from home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Yeah, I don't generally love the whole base clogging business that you occasionally hear about. The Paul Konerkos and Jim Thomes and guys like that of the world. If they're clogging the bases, that means they're on the bases a lot.
Yeah, would you rather that they have a little speed and be able to move around the bases better? Sure. My bigger concern would be if you don't get Hamilton and Frazier comes up there with two guys on base with his power and the way he's been swinging it lately.
Yeah, speed is always a concern when your opponent possesses it, but generally if you keep him off the bases, it's not an issue. And that's why in the first couple of weeks of the season, not that there was panic in Cincinnati, but Hamilton replacing Shin-Soo Choo, who was an on-base machine last year. You're talking about maybe 100 stolen bases, but then he couldn't get on base. Well, he's rectified that and has become a big-time weapon atop their order. Now Buena pops it up. This will make the seats.
Yeah, they're in the lower third in the league now in walks. Last year they led the league in walks with the Chu and of course with Votto, and Votto's been on the DL some this year. So that, that's the trade-off. You had the great on base presence. That's gone. Now you got the speed at the top of the order. And again, this kid is trending upward with what he's been able to do with the bat lately. So, if you could end up getting a 330 on base percentage out of him with his speed, you take it.
Yeah, probably right now 311. But again, that slow start.
It's hard to find Ricky Henderson, a guy that can do it all at the top of the batting order.
Buena went that time.
He was appealing at the same time, and it didn't help.
So 2 strikeouts for Simon. Well, he's kind of pointing down there saying, Trip Gibson, don't call that. Make plans to visit Wrigley Field this homestand. We continue the 1950s celebration. Visit WrigleyField100.com for info on all the planned festivities. Tickets are available for each game, including a day-night doubleheader this Saturday, June 28th against the Nationals. Cubs.com for seats today. Ball's going to get into center, and the Cubs have a base hit, courtesy Wellington Castillo, their first knock of the night.
Got a tough pitch down and perhaps off the outside corner. Didn't crush it, but he got enough of it. Matt Carpenter has a 374 on base percentage to lead the league in leadoff on base percentage.
How many? You have his steal totals?
2.
So that's the question, right? Would you rather have Matt Carpenter or Billy Hamilton this year as your leadoff guy?
Yeah,
Carpenter.
Yeah. I'd probably rather have Carpenter.
60 points better in the on base percentage. You got to take it. Well, you said you can't have Ricky Henderson. Well, you find Ricky Henderson. You can. He's 55.
Probably still get a bag for you.
Yeah. Played until he was 44. But I mean, to find the true next Rickey Henderson, you need a guy who has a great eye at the plate, takes walks, hits home runs, steals a lot of bases, and talks about himself.
And is tremendously quotable. Yep.
Yeah. And you got it. He was like a 9-tool player.
Played with a lot of swagger.
Sweeney fouls. Still 1-2 on him. Barney on deck. We're in the second. 1-0 Cincinnati. Votto plays behind Castillo. That pitch is low and away. Get a big dose of these Reds here the next couple of weeks. 3 here, and then on the Cubs' next road trip, 5 in 4 days at Great American Ballpark. Swing and a miss by Sweeney, and the inning is over. After 2, 1-0 Reds. Smaller, that's good to see. Sponsored by Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, helping you move better so you could live better. Visit IBJI.com. Third inning and a strike on Todd Frazier, an RBI triple in the first inning. 45th RBI, first triple of the year for Frazier. He has more homers than anybody in baseball this month, 8.
Good numbers off Samardzija. 7 out of 22 before that triple with 2 long balls.
Slider strike.
Andrew McCutchen and McCroy, we've seen plenty of. Haven't seen Gaddis in a while. He's having a heck of a year. People talking about Evan Gaddis as an all-star, but that catching position is really deep in the National League.
Yeah, you know, it just kind of is the way it is in pretty much every sport in terms of all-stars. It's about the best first half. A nice job of hitting by Frazier as he pokes that one out in the right, and he's going to try for 2. They've got a shot at him. He is out. What a snag by Castro on the throw from Sweeney. So Frazier taking a chance, and he gets gunned down. Bryant Price is going to not come out. He took 2 steps out of the dugout and was told, nope, he's out.
Lunges at this ball that's well off the plate, well down below the knees. Like a tennis player, just kind of blocking one the other way. Good play by Sweeney to hustle over and then get off this good throw. But the pick on the other end by Castro. That was sweet. He didn't have a whole lot of time to secure that baseball. You see it's a little wobbly there. He applies the tag and then has to regrip a little bit to make sure he hangs on.
9-6 to get him. 1-0 on Votto, the pitch. Just back to the all-star stuff. Really do it, I think, totally correctly. We should probably start with the day after the all-star break and have the second half of one year and then the first half of the following year. And that determines the all-stars, because there have been numerous examples in the past. High and deep to left. Coughlin goes back on the warning track, makes a grab. Long run, but there was some air underneath it. 2 outs.
And Into the well goes Coughlin, and Votto's bid for extra bases will settle into his glove. Two good plays by the Cub outfielders here in the third. Yeah, I get it. I kind of understand when fans want to reward a guy for a career. Obviously Derek Jeter and those perennial type all-stars, even if they're not having an all-star year. Well, you're right. You're talking about guys who just maybe so-so in the first half and then absolutely light it up in the second half. But and back, years ago, there were 2 All-Star games. There was one at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, if you're known as a great second half player, you probably come up on the short end of the stick for the All-Star game. You'll get recognized in September. Do you like the idea that every team has to have a representative?
Well, not at the cost of a deserving player. I mean, if you want to expand rosters to make that happen, I'm okay with it.
Haven't they? I mean, gosh,
yeah.
What, 34 guys? I think the thing that, and I think we've talked about this before, the home run derby's kind of lost its luster.
Oh, for me, big time.
And
I haven't paid attention to that in years.
Yankees had Old Timers Day. I think it was yesterday, and I think an Old Timers All-Star game would be fun. The home city, so Minneapolis get some former great Twins against an All-Star team. And I think more people would watch that and be interested in that. I would. The night before the All-Star game. 3-2.
Yeah, and if nothing else, tighten up the format for that home run derby. It takes too long.
Mesoraco takes ball 4. He was reached twice, hit by a pitch, and now a free pass.
Second walk of the night for Samardzija. This one makes a little more sense. First one was the opposing pitcher. Here he walks the guy who's really been swinging it well. Mesoraco, as Len mentioned earlier, home runs in his last 3 starts.
So you have a guy come in red hot. He's hit a lot of home runs, hitting for a high average. He gets hit and then walks. That's not all coincidental.
No. I mean, you tell yourself, look, this guy's swinging it well. We got to make sure we make quality pitches with him. And if you remember the last at bat, thought I had him struck out on a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Didn't get the call, so you didn't want to show him another one out there, let him lean out on it. So he tried to throw that runner in on him. And against a guy like Mesoraco, the way he's swinging it, you'd rather miss in and hit him than have it leak out over the plate.
That's a fair ball. And it's going to slow down in the grass out there. Picked up by Sweeney. And Mesoraco's got a hold at third. And a 2-out rally here. A walk to Mesoraco, now the double by Jay Bruce.
A slider that stayed in the zone for Bruce. Not a whole lot of room to get that ball by Rizzo, but he hits it sharply, and Rizzo can't knock it down. Billy Hatcher leaning out with 2, saying 2 bases. It was an easy double for Bruce.
If you wanted to get real fun for the All-Star game, as incentive to win the World Series the following year, the World Series winner gets 1 extra game. They get to play 163, and they take on the Major League All-Stars, who have a chance to hang a loss on last year's World Series champs.
And
then it would count.
It could prove to be a tiebreaker at the end of the year.
Make it a regular season game. Oh, well, we just have fun with it. Here's Ludwig, second and third, 2 outs. Not playing every day. Schumacher and Chris Heisey occasionally getting some starts in left, but Ludwig hot. Came in hitting .452 over his last 10 games. Looking up Ryan Ludwig's stats, maybe. Playing words with friends, who knows? Center field, Ruggiano takes a look back. He's going to have room right in front of the 400 marker, and the inning is over. That guy's going to hang on to that ball. 1-0 Reds. Moment, and this one definitely in the top, 3 or 4 Wrigley Field moments. A couple of Hall of Famers doing battle late. Brian Sandberg tying the game. Bruce Sutter, the Cardinal closer, twice. After Willie McGee had already been named the player of the game.
The scrum out there for that home run ball, pretty impressive. 5 out of 6 was Sandberg that day.
General admission seat $3.50. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. That was a game of the week performance. And it was also your birthday, as is today, as is our executive producer Bob Vorwald, and my mom. Happy birthday to all. And everybody else whose birthday falls on June 23rd.
Patrick Mooney.
Is it his birthday?
Celebrating a birthday today.
Right. A 2-0 on the way to Darwin Barney.
Yeah, and I just want to remind everybody that the celebratory fireworks for my birthday were canceled tonight. They've been rescheduled for Wednesday over at the Navy Pier.
Okay. Same, I've heard in D.C. they'll do it when we're there on July 4th. Darwin broke his bat.
Simon pitching with a lot of confidence, just the way you can tell his body language out there. Very good about things, and why not the way he has pitched.
So Darwin's dad's name is Dave. His mom's name is Dee Dee. He has 4 siblings. As he finds left field. That should be extra bases for Barney. Ludwig picks it up. Barney's going to go for 3, and Ludwig reached in, and Darwin might as well keep on going. I don't know if he reached in or not. He eventually put up his hands. And he'll have to go back to second. If he had reached in and then dropped it, Barney would have been allowed to score.
Darwin hitting the ball with a little more authority of late. And he's got the easy double, and then Ludwig thinks about it and then thinks better of it, and he makes a wise decision. Ricky Renteria now wants to talk it over with the umpires.
He didn't actually get in there, so made the right call. Ricky wants this to be private.
Yeah, he wants the cone of silence. I guess not asking for a review here, but asking for help from the other umpires to see if they saw it any differently. I mean, he's okay, right, as long as he doesn't actively pursue the baseball in there.
Yeah, and I think common sense has to rule here, and it didn't look to me like he really reached for it. I would say he thought about reaching for it and couldn't find it. And then I would say they made the right call. I think that's what Dale Scott's asking. Did he reach in? I think he more is looking. He did touch the ivy, but I don't know.
Although I know if you find a Pro V1 in there, it's mine.
So it looks like Dale Scott's going to tell Ricky this is our decision, and he will remain at second. I mean, I would say you got to kind of reach your hand in.
Yeah, I think you got to be in the process of kind of,
Yeah, he never did that.
But it's always a smart play to just keep on going, and that's what Darwin Barney did.
This is our speed replay brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Samardzija set to bunt, throw back to second, and Barney is back. And Jeff pulled the bat back in time. So just to finish the Darwin Barney family, parents Dave and Dee Dee, brother Doug, brother Davey, sisters Deanna and Darylyn.
That's the thing you hear.
His dad's a dentist.
Yeah.
Popped it up. One away. Broke his bat on a bunt, or did he break it? No.
Might have slammed it into the ground. I don't know.
Okay.
I was marking my scoreboard.
Yes, I was doing the same.
Did break it over his leg.
Did a Zambrano.
Bo Jackson, yeah.
Careful, Jeff. Coughlin with one out. And a strike call. I bet you Big Z did that 3 or 4 times in his career. He's always.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I witnessed a
Made
couple.
you a little nervous.
I would probably break my leg if I tried to do that. Samardzija knows how important it is to get that man over in that situation with the lack of runs that this club has scored, especially when he's been on the mound. Every little bit helps.
Two strikes on Coughlin.
Let's go to the splitter here against lefties. That was a tumbler. That one stayed up in the zone, but he got away with it. The off-speed nature of the pitch had Coughlin out in front a little bit.
Simon has beaten the Cubs twice this year, both times in April. Finals of 4-1 and 3-2.
He is 7-1 with a 2.66 ERA on the road.
Could be a double play. It is not. Barney got back. I don't know how he did it. He took off on a dead sprint toward third. Hamilton with a bit of an off-balance throw.
Barney yelling at Hamilton, surprised that Hamilton was able to close on this ball so quickly and make the play. And I don't know if it was Gary Jones or just realization by Barney that that ball might get caught that caused him to slam on the brakes, but there he goes. Back in the nick of time.
There's Jonesy. 2 down. It's Ruggiano. Cubs have wasted too many leadoff doubles this year. Called strike.
And not only is Hamilton very fast out there in center field, but he's got a really good throwing arm as well.
Former shortstop. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. He converted to the outfield last year, in fact. He's not been playing out there very long. High fly ball to center, and this will get Simon out of it as Hamilton makes a grab. 2 hands on it. Inning over after 3. 1-zip Reds. Enjoying the ball game tonight.
Need to get a Cub hat.
I agree.
Probably wondering why we're not blitzing more often.
Well, I think he's probably wondering why Samardzija is not one of his wide receivers. 2 strikes quickly on Skip Schumacher.
Yeah, maybe he's here to make his pitch before the trade deadline.
It's quick work of Schumacher.
So this Friday the Cubs take on the Nationals at 3:05, and if you're one of the first 20,000 fans at the ballpark, you'll receive a Wrigley Field 100 tote bag presented by the MLB Network. Tickets on every level are available, so visit Cubs.com today.
Cozart grounded out his first time up. Honest 6-game hitting streak. Fair ball backhanded by Valbuena. 2 away. Well, Jeff did this in the second. 2 quick outs against 7 and 8, and then he walked the pitcher Simon before striking out Hamilton to get out of it.
That was one of those pink elephant walks. Fooling around here.
Barney will scoop, and that's it. 1, 2, 3. Go the Reds. 4th inning, 1-0 visitors.
To Captain Schneider. The Cubs and Bank of America thank you for your service, sacrifice, and dedication.
Captain Matthew Schneider, Army 2000 combat medic, has served more than 13 years, currently a physician assistant in the Illinois Army National Guard. Good to have him here tonight. 1-0 Reds. They got their run in the first inning. We're now in the Cubs' fourth. Rizzo, Castro, Valbuena. And that ball lined into right for a base hit. Second straight inning, the Cubs have a leadoff hit.
6 hits in the ball game yesterday for the Cubs. They were held to 1 run. That came in the 9th inning. 4 of their 6 hits came in the last 2 innings. They did nothing against Brandon Compton, the starter for the Pirates, through 7 innings last night. Here, the at-bats, the swing's a little better here off Simon. They've made much better contact across home plate yet. Rizzo's hit the ball hard twice. Barney hit the ball hard last time up. Coughlin lined out last inning. So indications of things turning around a little bit.
Now, Compton did not even get to 90 pitches, and kind of wondered why Clint Hurdle didn't put him back out there for the 8th, as you mentioned yesterday. Well, you got Watson and Melanson. You really only need 7, but I read a quote from Compton after he was surprised his pitch count was that low, so he might have been pretty fatigued. But he was really good.
Yeah, and again, it's just become the formula. Most managers feel so comfortable with their 8th and 9th inning options that regardless of how the starter's going, unless it's your Johnny Cueto type guy, your ace, most managers are going to hand the ball over to those late inning relievers. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's kind of the norm.
One ball, one strike on Castro, hitting .322 over his last 22 games.
With power.
Yep, slugging over .570 during that time. That's a really good cleanup hitter. I don't know, JD. Maybe putting him in the 4 spot was exactly what he needed. You don't look at him as a 4 hitter, but everywhere he's hitting the lineup, he has said it. His hitting coaches have said it. His managers have said it. He's not going to change. He's just going to do what he does. But he's actually doing what a 4 hitter does.
Yeah.
So maybe he's waiting for his pitch a little bit more now. I don't know.
And it's kind of that chicken and egg thing. I think it's more it was coming. I think he was driving the ball anyway, and because he was swinging it better this year, that Rick Renteria thought, felt comfortable about putting him in that position.
That's probably a better answer.
I don't know, and I haven't talked to Starlin about it. My guess is he hasn't really changed his approach. He's just looking to be aggressive, to hunt fastball. Well, he just hunts the ball. He just looks for the ball somewhere close to home plate and takes an aggressive swing.
He's been hitting between Rizzo and Valbuena. It doesn't hurt. Cubs facing a lot of right-handed starters here lately, so maybe they've chosen to go after Castro a little bit more than the 2 lefties, and he's made him pay. Right field, and Bruce will not have a play. The other thing is, basically for the last 2 months, he's hit in 1 spot in the order, and that can't hurt.
No, and I think too, we looked at the numbers on him the other day. His walk rate's up a little bit, so he's showing a little more discipline.
And he lines one in the left. Ludwig will pick it up. Rizzo trying to get to third, and he will. It's a double. Second and third, nobody out.
Well, I'm glad he did that, because for me, that's exactly the difference between Starlin and Castro. He's been turning on fastballs. Last year, he got beat by a lot of fastballs. I think he got so concerned with that slider off the plate that he was chasing. He kind of let that creep into his mind, and he was behind a lot of fastballs. This year, He's turned on a lot of good fastballs at the middle part of the plate and in a little bit. Pitched that last year because he was so wary of the off-speed pitch he would get jammed by, or a lot of times would just lock up and freeze and not attack.
Big chance here. 2 in scoring position, 0 outs. Now, Valbuena had a sizzling month-long stretch recently, but as is usually the case, guys cool off, and he has. They just try to limit the slumps. Hitting under 200 here his last 9 games. And a strikeout victim in the second.
Yeah, the old Johnny Bench line. Slumps are like a soft bed. Easy to get into, tough to get out of. Big swing at the breaking pitch, comes up empty. Typically when a guy starts to struggle and you put him in this situation with a couple of men in scoring position, you know, the desire to contribute is so strong, you get out of your game a little bit. Maybe swing at pitches you otherwise would not.
One ball, one strike. The kick, the pitch, 1-2.
Back-to-back breaking balls. Well placed. Does he do it again? Seems like they'd want to come off that pitch at least one time.
In the air, this might tie it. Bruce has got a good arm. Rizzo's going to have to stop. It's a much easier call for Gary Jones with nobody out, because you've still got another shot here on a sac fly opportunity.
Yeah, especially with Jay Bruce. He's got one of the better throwing arms in baseball out there in right field. This is a relatively shallow fly ball. I think if this were the second out on the catch, they would gamble and send him.
So the Reds are going to play their middle infielders back. Actually going to play Frazier back as well. Votto possibly could throw to the plate. And a sharply hit grounder his way. Well, he backs up a step or two. So contact here. That's what Castillo wants, and hopefully good contact. Stay tuned. A little later, the 7th inning stretch. It's brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. Sting is here, and singing with a group with The Last Ship cast. Inside, almost hit him. It's a new musical with an original score by Sting. And currently playing at the Bank of America Theater through July 13th. Broadway and Chicago.com for tickets. 1-0 pitch. And 2 balls, no strikes. Sweeney on deck. Cubs threatening as they trail 1-0 in the 4th.
You come into this bat thinking, yeah, a little fly ball to center field probably gets the job done. You're trying to stay inside the ball so you don't roll over. Your thinking may change now that it's 2 balls and no strikes. Maybe you're looking to really tear into one. Like he was. Maybe went out of the zone a little bit, perhaps high, but good aggressive swing by Castillo. Base hit last time up, hit a fastball off the end of the bat. Yeah, this was clearly up out of the zone. Getting some counsel from Billy Hatcher.
Rizzo's got to head back to third. Castillo bounces out. And now it is up to Sweeney.
Wow. Leadoff double last inning. Darwin Barney, they weren't able to advance him. They're second and third, nobody out. Ryan Sweeney with a chance to be a real hero here and get his teammates off the hook.
And a pitch to Ryan off the plate inside. 95, good heat from Simon. And the percentage of getting a run drops precipitously with 2 outs. Cubs way below average. 2-0.
Well, fastball in, then a split finger pitch here on Sweeney. The Reds obviously doing a good job with their advanced scouting. Ryan Sweeney's been hitting a lot of fastballs the other way. 2 seamers from right-handed pitchers. He's been hitting to left field, so they go hard in with a fastball, then come back with a splitter. Another splitter. He's not been shy about throwing that pitch tonight.
Rizzo singled, Castro doubled. That's how the inning started. But then Valbuena flied to short right. Castillo bounced to the mound. And he is going to get out of it completely with 0 damage done. Missed chance here. 1-0 Cincy. Upcoming schedule under the lights here for the next few days. Note the start time Wednesday 6 Central on WGN Sports. Ford, go further in any one of Ford's many fuel efficient vehicles. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Each pitcher has escaped a big time jam. Unfortunately, in Samardzij's case, he had already given up a run. It was in the first inning. Hamilton scored that run. Two and one.
Have to obviously respect his speed, pinch in at the corners and tighten up a little bit on in the middle infield as well. Barney and Castro each a step or so closer to home plate than they normally would be.
Hamilton's got 4 home runs. 1 off Samardzij in Cincinnati. It was the first of his career back on April 29th. He's hit 3 this month. His career high in the minors, 6 last year with AAA Louisville. If you thought about that pitch again, he might have swung at it and reached first on a wild pitch.
Might turn that into a double.
Call strike 3. So Samardzij now with 4. That's the first called third.
Backdoor slider that just hangs on to the outside corner, top part of the strike zone. Dangerous, speedy guy dispatched back to the dugout.
Frazier with a triple and a single. He was trying for a double his last time up and got nailed at second by Ryan Sweeney. Excellent tag by Castro. By the way, Cubs now over the last 2.5 games 0 for 16 with men in scoring position after failing to get at least one the last half inning. Two strikes on Todd Frazier. The wind and the offering. Splitter in the dirt. Marlins 2, Phillies nothing. Bottom 7 in Philadelphia. Florida, or rather Miami, trying to get back to the 500 mark.
Hey, down in front, we're trying to watch a ball game here.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks to start the 5th.
This Saturday, Cubs take on the Nationals. It's a day-night doubleheader. The first 4,000 children 13 and younger attending the first game, that's a 12:05 start, will receive limited edition American Girl doll-size Cubs apparel. Pictured there. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Strike one on Joey Votto. Nationals leading at Milwaukee 3-0. They're in the bottom of the 4th there. Adam LaRoche with a 3-run homer off Matt Garza in the 3rd inning. Gio Gonzalez pitching for the Nats.
Be here with her Molly McIntyre.
LaRoche is putting together an all-star first half.
He is.
312 on bases, well over 400, slugging nearly 500.
Yeah, I was looking the other day at the, I don't know if it was weighted on base or OPS, one of those stats. And 4 of the top 12 in the league were first basemen. Because we were talking about Rizzo's chances to make the all-star team. He's right there. Goldschmidt kind of leading the way, but LaRoche, Rizzo, Freddie Freeman, all doing their thing.
Ground ball to the aforementioned Anthony Rizzo, inning over. That is 7 straight, retired by Samardzija, who trails 1-0. Baseball blog at WGNTV.com, sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your nationwide insurance agent serving the area for 36 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffbook.com. Nationwide is on your side. We have a Wrigley 100 feature on the anniversary of the Sandberg game 30 years ago. On this homestand, the Cubs celebrating the 1950s. Ernie lifts into left center. Ludwig makes the play. Jeff Samardzija in his last at bat tried to break his bat over his leg, which he did. Johnny Cueto against the Mariners. Oh boy. Tried it and it didn't work.
You see, Jeff was just a little more committed to it. You got to go through the bat.
Yeah, right.
Heads up back there.
And you got to do it in the thinnest part, right up there at the handle. Don't want to see those guys doing that stuff. One and one on him. Curveball inside, 2-1.
Watch how hard this swing is, because he knows he's going to get a heater here.
It's something he likes. He's going to hit it out. I don't know. I have a feeling. 3-1.
Challenge him.
Jeff puts on a show in batting practice. Now it's usually Chris Bosio throwing about 27 miles an hour, but he can hit the ball a long way. It's out of play.
Yeah, it's when it gets dialed up from 65 to 94 that the problem comes.
Boz used to throw a little harder than that. Votto will make the play right near the corner of that tarp.
Wrigleyville Rooftops has premier seating for up to 200 for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to WrigleyvilleRooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF.
Strikeout and a line out for Coughlin this evening.
Beautiful night at the ballpark. The Cub fans just have not had a lot to cheer about. A couple chances, but haven't been able to cash them in.
Cardinals leading 4-0 at the Rockies as they play the 4th inning in Denver. Lance Lynn, Jolice Chassin matching up. Matt Adams line. You ready? 323 on base percentage, 333. Slugging 502.
Yeah, he's starting to hit the ball out of the ballpark a little more frequently. About first baseman with good numbers. His are really improving. You know what they're going to do with their pitching situation now with Marte and Garcia both, or Marte, Walker. I'm reading one note. Walker and Garcia both down now.
Bounce to Schumacher to end the inning. Off to the 6th. Reds 1, Cubs nothing. -9, but 11 under 500. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The Yankees are -30 and they're above 500. One reason is the Cubs have lost a lot of really close games.
Yeah, well, they pitch pretty well and they just don't score enough runs. And I think their run differential closer to break even because they've had some outlier games. They've had a handful of games where they scored a ton of runs.
Add to that 7 and 13, 3 and 11 in 2-run games. So that's 10 and 24 in games decided by 1 or 2.
30 times this year they've scored 3 runs or fewer.
So either the Yankees have to start beating people by a larger margin, or that -30 will bring their record down to earth in the second half. Something probably has to give.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pirates just a game under. The Reds trying to get over 500 for the first time this year. I know it's about wins and losses, but run differential is generally a pretty good indicator of how good your team is. As you get deeper into the season, it becomes a little more, I think, instructive. Mesoraco's been hit twice. I think both with 2 strikes, right?
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was a 2-2 pitch in the first inning, and this a 1-2 pitch.
This one on the upper arm. Last time it was down near the wrist.
That was a splitter.
Yeah, that one had quite the bite in it.
So, man, I get hit by enough foul balls as it is behind the plate. Bruce takes it low, ball one. You saw Brian Price, their new manager. He was the pitching coach under Dusty Baker. And the Reds got off to a slow start this year. They had 8 guys on the DL to start 2014, most in the majors. And that included the closer, Aroldis Chapman. Pretty good chance Sean Marshall is done for the year. He's going to have exploratory surgery tomorrow on his left shoulder. Latos recently back. Votto and Bruce have been on the DL. So it's been one of those years, but they've been able to keep around that break-even point. And now if they can stay relatively hot, they're back in it.
I think a lot of reasons to be optimistic if you're a Reds fan, the way they've been playing lately and the fact that they're getting healthy.
I remember when we saw them in April, something was missing. They weren't, obviously Hamilton hadn't gotten comfortable yet. Actually, the biggest concern I think they're going to have moving forward might be their pen, and that at one time was a huge strength of theirs. Chapman's hitting 100 on about 90% of his pitches, so you're not worried there. But before him,
I think Broxton's been pretty good, but some of the other guys on Drusic's had his struggles. Right. Hoover hasn't been as particularly sharp. Manny Parra, I don't think the confidence level in Manny is real high. He's kind of been up and down. So if the Reds are looking to make some moves prior to the trade deadline, maybe the bullpen, maybe they look for an arm to fortify that bullpen a little bit.
You like the rotation with everybody healthy for sure. Led by Cueto.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't think Jay Bruce will finish the year at 225. Now, his 7th year in the big leagues, by far the lowest OPS of his career. So if he becomes Jay Bruce in the last 3.5 months, that'll help too. Up in the air to left. Coghlan under it.
Cubs baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
One away, it's Ludwig. You see Adam Wainwright yesterday, what he did?
No, what did he do?
He painted his face in like the American flag because he was so excited about watching the World Cup last night. I mean, he was in uniform.
In the dugout?
In the dugout, standing for the national anthem with the face paint on.
He wasn't pitching, though.
I don't think he pitched. Well, you can't pitch with that.
I don't think.
I have one answer to your question. Tomorrow, their first-round pick from last year, left-hander Marco Gonzalez, will start for the Cardinals. And he's from Fort Collins, Colorado. He'll pitch at Coors Field.
Wow. Wow. Much for a soft landing in the big leagues.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Wainwright pitched and won on Saturday. 8 innings, 1 run against the Phillies.
This game is kind of like a World Cup match. scoring chances, but not a lot of goals.
1-0.
1-0.
Either that or he wants to be the new drummer for Kiss. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 6 Ks for Samardzija.
I think that was the pitch he was trying to make to Mesoraco. He was trying to throw a splitter all the way across that outside corner. That's a very difficult pitch to execute. It got away with Mesoraco. This time he's able to drive it all the way out there. Not a hot night, but it's muggy.
So Samardzija going in it tonight had given up 4 earned runs over 2 starts against these Reds and lost them both. They were both against Alfredo Simon. So they're matching up for the 3rd time already this year, and unfortunately for Samardzija, it has played out the way the other 2 have as well.
Well, we just had Jackson Morton for the 4th time this year. The Pirates were in town.
Two strikes to Schumacher.
Dale Scott with one of the more distinctive called strike calls back there behind the plate.
Runner at first is Mesoraco. 2 outs. 2-2.
Came out of his delivery there. That one got away from him. Jeff, last time out, 6 innings of 7-hit baseball against the Marlins. Gave up 3 runs, none of which were earned. Struck out 8 in that game. Some good strikeout games lately. And we talked a lot throughout the season about his approach. How he's been more of a pitch to contact guy with that 2-seamer. But last 6 starts or so, seeing more swings and misses. I think it's because he's been using the splitter more.
Swing and a miss. He's fanned 7 tonight. Needs some runs and support though.
Time for our Honda game summary. Here, little Sinatra there in the background. Well, Todd Frazier's a big Sinatra guy, Jersey boy, and he's delivered the only run tonight. He's 2 out of 3. He's driven in that only run. Jeff Samardzija has been really good again tonight. Couple walks, 7 punch-outs, 107 pitches. Start something special with great leases and low financing on a new Honda. Visit shophonda.com or visit your local Honda dealer.
1-0 Cincinnati. A triple by Todd Frazier in the very first inning, scoring Billy Hamilton. That's it so far. Giano, Rizzo, Castro, 2 through 4 in the Cubs order. Justin fouls back for strike 1. Tampa Bay Rays took some BP against a knuckleballer. Her name, Chelsea Baker, from Plant City, Florida, 17 years old. Before the game tonight against the Pirates, Evan Longoria, David Price, Jose Molina took some hacks. I guess Joe Madden met Baker at an awards ceremony, invited her to the ballpark.
Nice.
Molina actually swung and missed a couple of times. Price hit a liner. She says the late Joe Niekro taught her the knuckleball about 10 years ago.
She with the silver bullets?
I don't know. Good question.
Oh, she was only
she would have
seven.
been seven. No.
Well, there's an 11-year-old girl playing in the U.S. Open this past weekend.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout since the second for Simon. Four on the night. As Rizzo digs in, this is a story that hopefully other broadcast teams are mentioning. Addison Reed, Diamondbacks closer, says, "I'm done with tobacco," after the death of Tony Gwynn. He actually played for Tony at San Diego State. And over the weekend threw away 7 cans of smokeless tobacco from his locker, 2 more in his car. He said, "I've been doing it for so long it became a really bad habit. I keep telling myself I'm going to quit. The next thing you know, it's been 6 or 7 years. But I think what happened to Tony Gwynn scared him, and that message needs to get out there." Swing and a miss.
Yeah, absolutely. Not just around Major League Baseball, but you still see a lot of kids, a lot of high school ball players, and not just ball players. I was stunned by the number of kids when my girls went through high school. How many kids were dipping tobacco?
When diagnosed salivary gland cancer 2010, and publicly said that he thought his tobacco use caused it. And Reed started when he was a junior in high school, so there you go.
Yeah, guys throwing in because it kind of looks cool. They see big leaguers doing it, and next thing you know, you're hooked on it. And so, that's guys. The last thing they do when they go to bed at night is take it out, and the first thing they do when they get up in the morning is pop one in.
Joe Garagiola has been on this one for many, many years to get guys to quit. Simon's 1-2 to Rizzo, and now 2-2. Bad news for Rafael Furcal. Back on the DL, he aggravated his hamstring injury. Remember, he just came off the disabled list. 9 games this year. That's it. And might be out for, they're saying, an extended stretch. Fly ball, well hit deep to left. Ludwig back, that baby will go to tie it. It's 1-1. Number 16 for Rizzo.
He doesn't hit many in that direction. He's hit the ball well all 3 times tonight. Here's a lucky fan with a souvenir. It looks like a backdoor breaking ball, and he reaches out. His back foot is behind home plate as he finishes this swing. That ball well off the plate. Like he was waiting on a slow pitch softball, waiting for the arc of that pitch to come down, and then hammered it.
So a 1-1 deadlock here in the 6th.
Simon's been good tonight, but he has gotten away with some bad breaking balls. And that's one you normally would get away with because it was so far outside.
One and 1 to Castro. He was trying to give the Cubs the lead there, 1-2.
Strained something with that swing.
Another 1-2. Got him.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Cubs.com for details. We should have yelled when Rizzo hit that home run. Cubs level! There's the columns, the World Cup game yesterday when USA tied at 1-1. Right. USA level!
I turned on the game right as they tied it. Then I was doing something else, and when I turned it back on, Portugal was tying it on the final play of the game. Beautiful goal.
That was
a heartbreaking goal for many, but
the whole extra time thing. It's going to be 4 minutes, and they added an extra minute.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how it works, but fun to watch. So tying Castro for the team lead in RBIs with number 43. Simon's 1-2 hit on the ground to Schumacher, and the inning is over. A 1-out home run by Anthony Rizzo. We're tied at 1. 16 on the year. And Brian Schlitter will take over. So the starter, Jeff Samardzija, gets a no decision. 6 innings, 1 run.
Another superb effort by Samardzija here this evening. Can't win, can't lose. It's in the hands of the bullpen. And Schlitter, 2-2 of the 294, comes on for the 34th time. He's got 8-9-1 due up for the Reds here in the top half of the 7th.
Gone to the 9th at Tampa Bay. The Pirates having their way with the Rays as Pittsburgh tries to get back to 500. 7-1. Pedro Alvarez is homered. And Starling Marte back with the team. Missed the last 2 games due to personal reasons. In their lineup, 1 for 3 with 2 runs. Fly ball pretty well hit. Sweeney makes a grab in right center.
The Cubs invite you to take advantage of free remote parking and shuttle services on night and weekend games. The remote parking lot is located at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. Schlitter relies heavily on his fastball. He throws it 70% of the time. Mostly 2-seamers. Good sink. Gets a lot of ground balls. Puts in the occasional slider.
We should mention was Sting and company singing The Stretch. He was here with the Police a few years ago, and the professional soccer team, the Chicago Sting, used to play here as well back in the day.
There you go. You got
early 80s.
Symmetry.
3-0 on the pitcher Simon.
He's already walked once tonight. Could have been high.
The kick and the pitch. Strike 2. It's full. Hamilton on deck.
It's kind of interesting that Simon has walked once and almost twice here. We'll see if Schlitter can finish him off. But he appears to be the most reluctant hitter I've seen in a while. He's just kind of hanging out up there to hope things go his way. He doesn't want to swing till the very last.
Well, he got him on that one. 2 outs.
He should have went with the 50-50 proposition. If I take it, maybe it'll be a ball.
Hamilton has doubled, scored, and struck out twice.
You don't change your thinking with him, even with 2 outs. You still take away the bunt, because with his speed, he can turn a bunt single into a double in a hurry with a stolen base. Whereas, it's kind of bad baseball for a lot of guys to bunt with 2 outs, but because of his speed, it's certainly not a bad play at all.
He's ready. '16-time Grammy winner. Bunted by Hamilton. Schlitter will pick it up, throw to first. And Rizzo couldn't handle it. Kind of backed off a little bit as Hamilton came racing by.
Speed just changes the equation, forces you to do things more quickly than you want to. Schlitter hurrying his throw. Will be charged with an error here. Maybe Anthony lost sight of that ball. Would have been better off had he just gone ahead and crossed into foul territory.
Yeah, I'm thinking E3, and that's what Bob Rosenberg's going to change it to. And if you keep tabs of such things, you can give Schlitter an assist.
If you do keep tabs of such things, wow, go to the head of the class. Not a matter of if, but when he tries to steal second base, right?
Inching his way off of first, and a throw over. .31 out of 39 on the year. 44 out of 53 in his young career. That's in 82 games coming in for Hamilton. He runs. The throw. Wow. Got it. Out at second. Time now for the 7th inning stretch. I believe Brian Price is going out. Hang on a second. The stretch will be brought to you by Budweiser, but we have to wait, I believe.
Yeah, they may decide to review this one. Brian Price going to take some time working his way out to second base, peeking back over his shoulder, waiting for a sign from his dugout as to whether he wants to challenge this one or not. What a throw by Wellington Castillo. A great pick and tag by Barney. Well, yeah, so the ball beat him before replay. No doubt he's out. With replay, they might want to take a look at it if you're the Reds.
He will not challenge. All right. Time for the stretch. Brought to you by Budweiser.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, 16-time Grammy Award winner, Sting.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
And Cubs, bottom of the 7th. So Sting and the cast members of The Last Ship, and they wanted to take a group picture as they were leaving, and my partner got right in the middle.
Oh, yeah,
I love
photobombed
that.
him. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
And guess what Sting said to me after?
Every breath you take.
No, he said, that is nerve-wracking.
Oh.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That's what this does to people.
You'd think he'd be used to singing in front of a crowd.
Right. But a little out of his element, you know. It's a song I don't think he's ever done before. And they had a nice harmony going. And then we had the possible reviews. So we had to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Sam LeCure is up. Pretty good pitch, but Castillo got the benefit on that one. 2-2. Pedro Strop. It was a nice group. Those guys were all very pleasant. And we wish them the best of luck with The Last Ship. Crack bat grounder. Third baseman Todd Frazier will make the play.
Yeah, he performed a song from that show at the Tonys, I believe. Sting did. Okay. And then the run here goes to the middle of July, and then they're taking it to Broadway.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Can you see that? I think you can. That's his signature. His autograph on a baseball.
Sting.
Yeah.
What's his last name? Jones? Sting Jones. Sting Ray, perhaps?
Just Sting.
Didn't need no stinking last name.
How many women named Roxanne have come up to him and said, that song was about me?
Yeah.
Sing it for me, Sting, will you? Will you sing my name?
Just a few bars.
Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner, his birth name.
Turn on your red light.
2-2. Simon has outlasted Samardzija tonight. Jeff went 6. Deep breath, and the big right-hander coming back on a 3-2 hit foul. This battle continues. Ball 4. It's the first walk issued by Simon tonight. So here's Barney, a double and a fly to left. Strike.
Whack that double to left, and then last time up, a bit of a hanging curveball, put a pretty good swing on it, hit a fly ball to left. Nate Sherholtz out on deck.
Still throwing hard, 95 on the fastball, but it missed. 2-1. He's slowing it down here late. Throw over. Kevin Gregg, the former Cub, already making his 3rd appearance with the Marlins tonight. Selected 4 days ago from AAA New Orleans, had signed a minor league contract on June 3rd. Popped in the air, shallow left as Sweeney was on the move. He's going to head back.
Well, Devin Mesoraco has been hit by pitches twice tonight, and check out this backswing, catches him in the left elbow. My goodness, he's had a tough night. Maybe we could get Sting to sing King of Pain for Mesoraco.
There you go. Jeff Pico, former Cub, their pitching coach.
Tough days in San Diego. They fired their general manager, Josh Burns. And They just put Andrew Kashner on the disabled list with a shoulder ailment. Send over your resume to the GM of the Pods.
No, I like what I'm doing.
You put a club together. Have to put up with all those agents.
I do wonder, Jason McLeod, whenever there's a GM opening now, I have to think that he's a possible candidate, considering he had been in San Diego. Would hate to lose somebody of his caliber, but at some point that might happen.
Might want to take that next step.
There it is. And it's a strike. 1-2 on Sherholtz, the pinch hitter.
I have a couple of former GMs in their organization over there, Randy Smith and Omar Minaya.
Stop. Schumacher, what a play. Filling in for the Gold Glover Brandon Phillips tonight at second, and he just got his starting pitcher out of the inning. Van Camp. Last night by the Strokes. And you can send us your Cubs selfies at hashtag WGN Cubs. Our next fan cam will feature the heart attacks. 1-1, or 1-1 rather, the score as Pedro Strop pitches here in the 8th.
Schlitter worked an inning, had a strikeout. Big caught stealing by Wellington Castillo. Boy, keeping that man out of scoring position was huge. And now Strop on for the 27th time. Got the heavy lifting to do here in the 8th with Frazier, Votto, Mesoraco due up.
Chris Davis came off the bench, hit a game-ending 3-run homer for the Orioles to beat the White Sox 6-4.
Ironic. I was just reading a story about him being benched because he's been struggling.
Yeah, he didn't start, but he finished. White Sox just got swept in 4 at Minnesota. So 5 straight losses, all by 1 or 2 runs for the White Sox. Big Jonathan Broxton up in the Reds bullpen. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One batter, one strikeout for Strop. Will bring up Votto.
Well, Frazier's night started well. Triple first time, base hit second time up. He was caught trying to stretch that single into a double. Since then, a couple of punch outs. Just nasty movement on that pitch from Strop. Brings him to his knees.
Votto, a ground out, fly to the warning track and left, and then grounded out again.
Average not up where it normally is for Votto, but still a very robust on base percentage because of all the walks he draws.
Two and 0. Oh hum, on base percentage of .410. What else is new? It's actually below his career average, .419. His on base in 2012 was .474. Three balls and a strike on Votto. 1-1 tie lead. Wind has died.
And here's where Votto has drawn some criticism in some circles. Counts like this, some would prefer him to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to turn it loose, maybe chase a bad pitch, trying to inflict some damage.
Lets it loose and was out in front. And he walked him. What a night for Mesoraco. Hit in the first on a 2-2 pitch. Walked in the third. Hit in the sixth on a 1-2 pitch. Then took a backswing off the non-throwing elbow from Darwin Barney. It's been a painful night, but good for his on-base percentage.
And now he has to dig in against a guy throwing 96 with a running fastball.
He's not always sure where it's going.
Yeah, well, that's what you sign up for. It's the big leagues.
So 2 balls, no strikes. The last thing Strop wants to do is cause a self-inflicted rally here. That's what Willie's telling him.
Yeah, well, that's
you got good stuff. Go after him.
And that's imagine Strop is saying, I am going after him. I'm not throwing the ball where I want to. And that's he throws really hard. And he has good movement. Just his control is a little wobbly.
The 2-0 pitch off the corner. Nobody up in the bullpen. For now, this is Strop's inning. He's got Jay Bruce on deck.
Decision time here for the Reds. Do you turn Mesoraco loose on 3-0? The way he's been hitting for power this year, it would be understandable. But again, Strop struggling with his command, so he's taking all the way. In hopes that he gets that one again. Reds have not had a base hit since the 3rd.
Hot foul and out of play. It is over in Philadelphia. 4-0 Marlins. Nathan Eovaldi got the victory. 2-run double for Casey McGee. The pitch. Another foul back. 8-3 Toronto over the Yankees. That's a final. 3-run homer by Adam Lind at Rogers Center. So the Yankees have dropped 3 in a row.
Mesoraco was asking Dale Scott if that pitch was in the strike zone or not. He may have been saying he's not coming to a complete stop out there, but sometimes he does. And obviously, with the man on first, he needs to.
Back-to-back walks.
Pedro will do that quick pitch every now and then, but with a man on first base, you can't do it.
Jay Bruce, but before that, Chris Bosio's going to head out. So a couple of walks here, creating the big time need for a double play ball. Dale Scott was going to break up the meeting, but Bosio already headed back to the dugout, although the catcher's still out there.
Last 13 men to come to bat for the Reds. Ball's been put in play 4 times. Strikeout, strikeout, ground out, hit batter, fly out, strikeout, strikeout, fly out, strikeout, E3, strikeout, walk, walk.
Bruce does not hit the ball on the ground that often. Of a fly ball hitter. Takes a strike.
Hey, you think of Bruce as a pull hitter, but he will go the other way with that 2-seam fastball. That would be the hope if you're Strop. You try to get him to offer and maybe roll over at a 2-seamer down and away. Could be a potential double play ball.
Jumps out in front of Bruce. 0-2. Votto at second, Mesoraco at first. They both walked. A 1-1 tie late. We're in the 8th inning. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Good visit.
disappearing slide ball. Bruce, his second strikeout victim. 2 pair now. A couple of punch outs, a couple of walks.
Now I've looked it up. That is technically correct. I say pairs, but you can say even.
2 pair and 2 pairs.
Yep. In case you're wondering. Here's Ludwig. It's P-E-A-R. You have to put the S on. Plural. Not for P-A-I-R. So nice going.
I've got 2 pair.
Yeah. Oh. All of a sudden, Strop throwing strikes. Ever since Chris Bosio went out there, 4 in a row. The 1-strike pitch. Bounce to third. Valbuena will throw to second, and Strop gets out of the inning. Last 5 pitches, all strikes after the 2 walks. Still 1-1. Grab some buds. Ford, manufacturers of America's best-selling brand. Check out our best-selling lineup at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Downtown Chicago. Under the lights tonight. And a 1-1 tie late in the ball game. The Reds go into their bullpen. And it's right-hander Jonathan Broxton.
Broxton with solid numbers, 2-0 in ERA of .77 for 24 appearances. He's picked up 5 saves and 7 tries along the way. League hits 122 against him. Not allowed a home run yet. He has walked 11 in 23 innings. Fastball slider.
Facing Chris Coghlan. Strike 1.
More curve than slider there. Pitch he doesn't use very often.
Battle time here for Coghlan, down 0-2.
Broxton signed a 3-year deal prior to last year, plus an option. Originally a 2nd-round pick of the Dodgers back in 2002. In his heyday with the Dodgers, he would throw 97, 98 miles an hour. Now he gets by with more pedestrian fastball, 92, 93 in that range typically.
Filled in for Aroldis Chapman as a closer when the left-hander was on the DL. He'll field that bouncer cleanly, running halfway over. Now underhands to Votto for the out. 1 away here in the Cubs' 8th. Top of the order, Coghlan and Ruggiano at the moment a combined 0 for 7. Ruggiano's offer has now reached 16, so he's due.
Ooh. I didn't think he went. Nobody asked me. Maybe a little more so there than when I first thought.
Homer Bailey, Jake Arrieta tomorrow night. And then we'll have Wednesday's game on WGN at 6. Matt Latos, Edwin Jackson. So kind of waving away those insects. There are a lot of bugs flying around. No wind. Air kind of stale at the moment. Two balls, two strikes. Rizzo on deck. A homer to tie it in the 6th off the starter Simon. Full count.
Maybe he could do his own version of the Sandberg game. Dave Owen drove in the winning run in the Sandberg game.
Yeah, that's right.
In the 11th inning.
Hamilton in center for the second out.
Bad breaking ball, but he reached out, punched it into the seats and left. Number 16 for Rizzo, and that tied the ball game. Both clubs had chances early, didn't cash in. Reds had a man on third with nobody out in the first. Got one home in that inning, but still third base, nobody out situation that they failed to cash in. Samardzija did a heck of a job getting out of that. Cubs had a couple real good chances in the 3rd and 4th. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, did not score.
One and one the count, 1-1 the score. Saying hit it to me, Anthony.
He's been ready all night.
Broxton's pitch. Oh, that's a vicious swing. 1-2.
Nothing wrong with swinging hard as long as you're swinging at strikes. Just didn't get it. Just late getting started.
Two outs here in the 8th and a 1-2 to Rizzo, and we'll head to the 9th in a 1-1 tie. Bring their closer in, as most home teams do in this spot. No longer any save situations for the home club.
So Rondon gets the call here against Schumacher.
Away we go on a foul off to the left.
There's a couple different ways to think about it. You could say, well, we want to have our best chance to win this game in the bottom of the ninth, and Rondon's our closer, so we want to use him here. You could also say, well, gee, we're down near the bottom of the Reds batting order. You got a lefty to lead off. You could start with Russell and Wright. Maybe Brian Price pinch hits in that situation with Phillips. But you might just think, well, somebody else could get through the bottom part of the order. Let's have Rondon in reserve and have him face, if we go to the 10th, have him deal with Frazier, Votto and the likes. Again, this is kind of the default move.
On the ground to the shortstop, Castro.
There's a game recently, though, where he used Rondon, I think in the 8th. Or maybe it was on the road in the 9th.
Sounds right.
With an idea of just trying to, felt like he was the best option to extend the ball game at that point.
Now back by Cozart. Brian Pena, switch hitting backup catchers on deck.
Seems to me like he did something heroic against the Cubs earlier this year. Game-winning hit or big part of a late rally. Cozart 0 for 3 tonight.
You are testing my somewhat short-term memory here. Couldn't hold up.
Cubs pitching doing a nice job shutting down this Reds club that absolutely ripped through the Toronto Blue Jay pitching staff this past weekend. Scored 57 runs over their last 6 ball games. You go 9 per game, you're going to win a lot of baseball games. Heck, you'd win the occasional football game with 9.
High fly ball. Will be handled by Ruggiano. Pena homered off Edwin Jackson back on April 30th, but the Cubs won that game 9-4. If that's what you're referring to, but it's the only thing I could find. Chris Heisey instead of Pena. Heisey in his career has been pretty good as a pinch hitter. It's not easy. This is his 131st career plate appearance as a pinch hitter. He has slugged .544 with a .281 batting average, 7 career pinch home runs.
And one of those coming this year. He's 5 out of 20 as a pinch hitter this season.
So he bats with 2 outs. Rondon's 1-0 pitch. Now 2-0 with Hamilton on deck. This one looks like it's going to drop. It will. And the Reds stay alive in the 9th with Hamilton coming up.
There's three guys we talked about in the open. The unusual suspects. So much focus over the last few years on Votto and Phillips and Bruce. Now these guys stepping up, and Frazier 2 out of 4 tonight. Hamilton has scored the Reds' only run, and doubled, and Mesoraco, he's just getting beat up, but he's been on base a lot. I guess you can continue that theme right over to the starting pitcher too, Alfredo Simon. Stepping up in a big way this year for the Reds.
Who's your favorite character? Usual Suspects?
I think it was Mitch.
Mitch? I don't remember Mitch.
Yeah, I've had a very small part. Okay.
One ball, no strikes on Hamilton, and runner goes, and it gets by everybody. Actually might have hit the foot of Dale Scott. So it'll be a stolen base because Heisey was already on the move. And a 2-0 count on Hamilton.
A little bit of the glove, a little bit of the leg. The Reds with the go-ahead run now in scoring position.
So that could loom large. They've got the go-ahead runner in scoring position and a 2-0 count on Hamilton. I'm just thinking about that 2-out hit. How many of those has Hector Rondon given up in terms of percentage of hits he's allowed? It seems like a lot of the base hits he gives up are not hard hit balls.
Both of his blown saves, string of bloopers and flares, and bleeders. That's pretty crisp there. That's 95. Pellet at the knees.
Fans want to strike out. Rondon just wants an out. The go-ahead run at second. A 2-2 count on Billy Hamilton. The kick, the pitch, pulled foul.
Mr. 104.
Ground ball, base hit, Reds lead. Heisey scores, and Billy Hamilton comes through. It's 2-1.
Well, the Heisey base hit a blooper. This ball well struck, though. Nice piece of hitting. A good pitch by Rondon. Lively fastball down and away, and Hamilton just stays on it, beats it onto the ground, but hits it hard and able to just get it by Castro.
For the record, if Castro fields that ball completely cleanly, he has no chance to get Hamilton. You leave your feet as an infielder against him, he's going to be safe.
And his goal there is just keep Heisey from scoring. Keep it in the infield, and
good point. You're right. My guess is Heisey probably would have tried either way.
Well, yeah, if he just gloves it and it trickles away a little bit, Heisey probably does score. The hope is he can just catch it cleanly and shut him down, but despite his effort, it's an RBI single for Hamilton.
And in fact, JD, I would say this: if Castro had fielded it cleanly, his best bet would not have been to throw to first.
No. You're not going to make a play on Hamilton there. That's when you come up and maybe you fire to third base, hoping you catch the guy rounding the bag. Cubs are going to have to come back against Aroldis Chapman in the bottom of the ninth.
Not easy. Got to think he's going to run. Already with the lead. Much reason not to. Well, Frazier don't want to take the bat out of his hands necessarily either.
Yeah, and I would assume he's got the green light all the time, unless Ryan Price gives him a don't go. Just trust your instincts, get a lead if you feel he can get a jump. Now, the fact that Castillo threw him out in the seventh may give him a little pause over there.
Rondon all right. Castillo kind of went out a third of the way to the mound and looked like he asked him, "Are you all right?" And he looked into the dugout. 2-1. There he goes. And a base hit. Better get it back in quickly. He's coming. He's going to stop. I'm surprised he stopped. I mean, it really feels like Little League at a certain point where Hamilton just runs till somebody throws him out.
Run till they tag me. Well, another soft hit. This one off the end of the bat shatters the bat of Frazier. Able to go for his third hit of the night. Yeah, any little bobble or hesitation out there.
A slip around the bag. Not quite sure why he was watching the play.
Yeah, well, a lot of base runners just can't help themselves. They don't want to trust the base coach.
And Steve Smith, the Reds' third base coach. Well, I got to tell you, I mean, Tony Campana is probably the fastest Cub I've ever seen. I think Hamilton might be the fastest player I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't
think of anybody I've witnessed in person go from base to base faster than he does. Pitch count starting to grow. James Russell is up. 24 pitches and counting for Rondon here in the ninth. By the way, your answer was wrong before. Usual suspects. You're trying to fool me. You said Mitch, the uncredited cop in hallway, is the best
best answer.
The stolen base for Todd Frazier. It looked like he wanted to get caught in a rundown. He was running towards second, and he then kind of slowed down a little bit, hoping that Castillo would throw, and then Hamilton could easily score. I mean, if Castillo throws to second at all, Hamilton's in, and that's why he didn't. Like Frazier wanted to get caught in a rundown.
Yeah, just basically saying, okay, take your best shot. Nobody covering, no inclination to throw through in that situation with Hamilton at third base.
Three and two. Devin Mesoraco on deck. 2 walks, 2 hit by pitches for him tonight. Votto walked his last time. Here comes the 3-2. Lifted in the air, foul.
Joey Votto, a line drive machine. I don't know if he kept it up the entire year last year or not, but late in the year he had not popped up to the infield once all season. The type of hitter you're tempted to invent a pitch. Just to get it over with. Throw an ephus ball or a splitter even if you don't normally throw one.
Ball 4. Like on base percentage, he's been your guy tonight. 1,000. And then he got hit by Barney on the backswing. That didn't count for anything. Except probably a bruise. Bases loaded. Reds already leading by a run. Now trying to break it open.
Trying to slow him down a little bit and just get him into the right frame of mind here.
High drive, left center, Ruggiano back. That's a grand slam into the basket. Devin Mesoraco capping a huge night. And it's 6-1.
And a little payback for all the pain he has endured tonight. He has now homered in 4 consecutive games. It's his first official at-bat of the night. He came in to this game with the best at-bat to home run ratio in the league. Second grand slam this year, third of his career.
I don't know if I've ever seen a night quite like it. Hit by pitch, walk, hit by pitch, walk, grand slam. And we'll be back in the ninth. A 5-run frame and a 5-run lead, and it will not be Chapman now in the bottom of the ninth. No longer necessary, at least for the time being.
Nope, it'll be Logan Ondrusek. That's who was up alongside Chapman earlier. He continues to warm as James Russell comes in here in pursuit of the third out. Two outs, nobody on when this rally started.
That's right. Rondon got Schumacher and Cozart, and the blue hit by Heisey. Go ahead single by Hamilton. Frazier singled. Lotto walked. And then Mesoraco with a grand slam. So Broxton, who went 1-2-3 in the 8th, can get the win for the Reds.
Chapman sat down, but a lot of fans stood up and headed out of the ballpark.
The 2-2 from Russell is over but low, and it's full 3-2. Finally comes to an end, but the Reds put up a 5 spot. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Until 2 outs in the top of the ninth. And Devin Mesoraco seemingly putting this game out of reach with an insurance 4-run homer. So now it's Logan Ondrusek in a non-save spot.
This might be the biggest bullpen in the history of the sport. I don't know if anybody keeps track of such things, but they got some big dudes out there. Ondrusek, 6'8" right-hander, 2-2 with an ERA of 4. He's on for the 26th time. It's 291 against him. He's got good stuff. Up and down, a bumpy ride for him the last couple of years. Came up initially with the Reds in 2010. Fastball, cutter, curve, and a splitter.
Broxton 6'4", 295. Chapman 6'4", 205. We've got Jumbo Diaz now 6'4", 278, but he lost like 70 pounds over the winter. Ondrusek 6'8", 231. Simon, who started tonight, 6'6", 267.
Maybe that's why Trestman was here. Looking for a little O-line help.
Right. And then there's Mike Leake, 5'10", 190.
Yeah, and Sam LeCure.
1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. One out here in the ninth. It's Valbuena. Strikeout, a fly out, and a ground out. Cubs have been playing really well over the last month plus, but they're staring at possibly their 3rd straight loss. In the air to right, Bruce with the catch, 2 down. Cubs baseball produced by Mark Brady, directed by Skip Ellison. Associate producer is Doug Stanton. Our executive producer, Bob Vorwald. Christina Ballas, our studio coordinator. Thanks to Mitch.
My favorite.
JD's favorite. And he's allowed to have a favorite on his birthday.
Couldn't have worked out any better for Brian Price. Explosion in the top half of the inning allows him to shut down Aroldis Chapman, who pitched twice over the weekend in Toronto. He pitched yesterday, so had he pitched today, might not have been available tomorrow. You just love it, those late runs when you can pick up a W and save a couple bullets out there in the bullpen.
Hit hard, but right to Frazier, and this will end it. Man, the Reds have won 18 of their last 20 games in this ballpark. A 5-run ninth gives them a 6-1 victory.